So let's talk about something fascinating, a paradox right at the heart of modern Sikh identity. You hear a lot of talk about an identity crisis, right? But what if that's not the whole story? What if it's actually the start of something huge, like a powerful renaissance? We're going to unpack that. I mean, think about it. We live in this age of TikTok, of viral trends, of a totally globalized culture. So how does a faith with centuries of history stay relevant? And this isn't some abstract academic question. Nope, this is a real everyday dilemma for so many young Sikhs trying to figure out how to balance tradition and modernity. All right, section 1, an identity in question. So first things first, let's really nail down what this so-called crisis even is. Okay, so this isn't really about people losing their faith. The real heart of the issue is this feeling of disorientation, you know? It's that constant struggle to make your own personal values fit with all the pressures from society. And this is especially true for Sikhs in the diaspora, who are kind of caught between two worlds, the culture at home and the one right outside their front door. And yeah, this disorientation isn't just some vague idea. It shows up in very real ways. It's that tension a young Sikh feels between what their family expects and what they want for themselves. It might look like drifting away from religious practices, or being confused about cultural norms, or even feeling unsure about wearing the turban or other articles of faith. So, what's causing all this? Well, you've got this contrast. On one hand, you have the traditional support systems, family, the Sangat, which is the local community, but on the other hand, you've got these massive modern disruptors, digitalization, globalization, you name it. And these things aren't just changing how we talk to each other, they're throwing up new challenges that those old support networks, well, they just weren't designed to handle. Okay, that brings us to our second section, Echoes of the Gurus. Because, to find answers for today's questions, sometimes you've got to look back at the very foundations, the original teachings of the Sikh gurus. Just listen to this verse from Sheikh Farid Ji. It really gets to the ethical heart of the faith. This deep, profound sense of compassion. The idea that every single person is a priceless jewel. I mean, that's not just a nice thought, is it? It's literally the bedrock of Sikh identity. And we have to be clear, this wasn't some minor tweak or reform. It was a full-blown revolution. Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikhism, looked at the rigid social structures of his time, the hierarchies, the religious divides, and he challenged them directly. He wasn't just trying to fix the existing system, he was building a whole new one from the ground up, based on radical equality. Get this, this was from Guru Nanak's very first sermon after his enlightenment. Just pause and think about how mind-blowing that would have been in 15th century India. There is no Hindu, there is no Muslim. In one sentence, he's declaring the fundamental oneness of all humanity. He's just dissolving all those artificial walls that societies love to build to keep people apart. Which brings us to section 3, a legacy of resilience. Because look, this spiritual foundation we've been talking about, it isn't just theory. It has fueled an absolutely incredible history of resilience. To really get Sikh identity today, you have to understand the insane adversity the community has faced, and, more importantly, overcome. 25,000. That's a stark number, and it's supposed to be. That's how many Sikhs were estimated to have been massacred in a single day during what's known as the Vada Haluhara, the Great Massacre of 1762. This was a calculated attempt to completely wipe out the community. But here's where the story gets absolutely astonishing. Okay, so February 1762, the massacre. By May, we're talking just 3 months later, Sikh forces were already fighting back and winning, and within 2 years, they had recaptured major territories. This wasn't just about surviving, it was a defiant, unbelievably fast workover. And then there's another number for you, 21. A tiny number, but it represents one of the most legendary stories of bravery in all of military history, the Battle of Saragarhi. The odds, they were almost impossible to believe. You have 21 soldiers, 21, defending a small communications post against an army of over 10,000. They were offered the chance to surrender, but together, they made a decision. They would stand their ground and fight to the last person. And this verse from the scriptures, man, it just perfectly captures that spirit. It's this whole ethos of unwavering courage, of commitment to your duty, even when you know death is certain. The story isn't just some old historical account. It's a living, breathing part of the Sikh psyche. So you have to ask, right, how is this kind of resilience even possible? Well, it's powered by this really core concept in Sikhi called Chardi Kala. You could translate it as an ever-ascending optimism. But it's not about being blindly positive or ignoring hardship. It's about maintaining this state of hope, this belief in a positive outcome, no matter what the circumstances are. It's basically the psychological engine that drives that entire history of resilience. All right, section 4, reimagining the future. So we've looked at the foundations, we've looked at the history. How does all of this incredible legacy help forge a strong, confident Sikh identity for tomorrow? And maybe this is the most important idea of all, a huge shift in perspective. What if we just stopped calling it an identity crisis? What if, instead, we see it as an identity opportunity? A chance to reconnect with the roots, to innovate, and to redefine what it really means to be Sikh in the 21st century. So, okay, what does this opportunity actually look like in practice? Well, the path forward seems to have 4 key steps. Number 1, reclaim the foundations. Go back to those radical, universal teachings of the gurus. 2, empower the youth. You have to create space for them to ask tough questions, to innovate, and to lead. 3, and this is a really crucial one, truly champion gender equality inside the community. And finally, number 4, build bridges. Create those supportive environments where young people feel like they can make their own free and informed choices. And all of this leaves us with one big, final question. When you look at the revolutionary teachings of the gurus and you see that incredible legacy of resilience, the potential is just, it's right there. So can this new generation, a generation armed with digital tools but guided by these timeless values, can they turn this moment of questioning into a real, genuine cultural and spiritual renaissance? That right there is the opportunity.